Mr. Warrens,
Mr. Wilson.
look where we're at. We have finally made it here to the desert.
I wish people could see behind us.
I wish they
But
could too.
it is drowned out. I've gotten a lot of work done while we've been here. I haven't gotten a lot of work done with the podcast. A lot of footage, a lot of data. But I've done some schoolwork here, actually. Got some stuff ready for next year.
Lucky for you, I have done absolutely nothing with my job and my business, and I am having a hard time with it.
Yeah, and that's what
I've been beating myself up over the course of the past week and a half. And, we've talked about and spoke about our mental hangups, if you will.
Absolutely.
And I'm really glad for those who are joining us. You may see a third face here, and I'm glad that we have Tyler along here with us, because we've always said that we're mental health patients and not mental health professionals.
We're not professionals by any means.
However, Tyler is the mental health professional. So everyone, we'd like to welcome Tyler to the show. And hey, Tyler, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you're good at?
Hello. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here with two mental health patients. I will take the role of the mental health professional. So yes, my name is Tyler Brockbank. I am an associate marriage and family therapist and associate clinical mental health counselor. All that to say is I meet with individuals and couples and families talking about all things mental health and relationships. So what's special about me, and I think the reason I'm here, is I started a company called Greencrest. And this company, to state it as simply as possible, we run our therapy sessions in a golf simulator. So clients are coming to their therapy session, and instead of coming in and sitting down on a stale couch in an office with a box of tissues in between them and their stoic therapist across the room, it's me and them, or them and another licensed therapist. They're playing golf on a TrackMan simulator. They're hitting balls on the range. They're playing Pebble Beach or wherever they want to play. And we're talking about mental health and giving them tools, giving them techniques to use for communication or just stress management, whatever it might be. So anyway, I'm really glad to be here and to just kind of share this with everyone and with you guys and your followers. So thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. When we found you on it was YouTube Shorts, I think is where we found you. You popped up on our feed, and I looked at Joe and I said, Joe, I think we need to reach out to Tyler because he's doing something unique that, I've never heard of before. And I know you and I use the golf course kind of like as our couch,
the first thing I'll say is, you and I have both done therapy.
Yeah.
And we've done all the different versions, right? I've done in-house therapy and sat down like you were talking about, Tyler, with a therapist and, just having that conversation. I've done it virtually as well through the computer and done that as well. And both of those are fine. I was lucky to have a good relationship with the therapist I was with at the time for that. But this brings a whole different aspect into it, as Bob was getting into, because a lot of times when you go onto the golf course in the first place, you have your friends with you that you're choosing to be there for at least 2 to 4 hours, most likely. And a lot of times that conversation's naturally going to go towards how you doing, where are you at, what's going on, as guys, that's naturally a lot of times a conversation on the golf course. So I think what you're doing, is absolutely incredible and absolutely fits the mold for sure.
No, it's absolutely unique. It's something that I've never heard of before. And when, like I said, when we saw the video clips, it was, hey, he's doing something really unique because I know Joe and I, we utilize, and again, we're mental patients, not professionals. And sometimes we're trying to pick each other up as we're walking down the fairway, if you know what I'm trying to say. So it's, we view the golf course as kind of like our therapy couch, if you will. It's 2 to 4 hours of exchanging stories and talking about home and the kids and what's going on, and eventually somebody will go, so how you really doing? how you really feeling, And that's where, at least that's how our relationship is, So No, we commend you for what you're doing, and I guess I do have one question for you that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
For those individuals that may be a little bit, how can I put it, hesitant, I guess is a good word to use, hesitant to maybe start having that conversation on the golf course with their golf buddies or friends. But, everybody knows when maybe they don't know when when I'm having issues, at least I know when I'm having issues and having a rough go at it. Some people
Yeah.
may not. However, if you happen to be one of those individuals like myself, where I know I need to get some extra help, and you're a little bit hesitant or shy about reaching out to someone, what is your advice to that individual who knows that they need to reach out to somebody, but they're not sure who or how to go about doing it? What's your advice to them?
Oh, that's great. First of all, I'm so grateful that you guys are able to showcase this relationship you have, because I think it's so powerful. I wish everyone in the world could enjoy, a
Mhm.
relationship, a friendship like the two of you have. And if, to answer your question, if there is someone out there that recognizes or maybe doesn't recognize, but just feels something's off, they're feeling down, feeling low lately, yeah, the hope would be to bring somebody in, right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be, a formal phone call and then you lay out everything you're dealing with, but just spend some time together, right? I think the power of having an activity is so powerful, especially with us men. That is how conversation happens with us
Yeah.
guys. We're sitting, we're playing pool, we're playing golf, we're doing something, we're sitting on the bank fishing, whatever it is, spend some quality time doing an activity you like, and then the conversation will happen. I think that's kind of a natural byproduct of just being in an environment with someone you care about, someone that cares about you. You're going to start talking, and whatever is on your mind or your heart that day, it's going to come up in a natural, comfortable way. Would be
Mhm.
the hope, So I think that approach would be helpful to not force it, but to just start being with somebody. And even that is a big step that has a lot of benefits for someone going through a hard time.
Fantastic. That's kind of what we've been doing, I
That's
think.
yeah, and that's I was gonna say that's exactly kind of
Yeah.
how we approach. We always joke and we talk about you have those three things or those three places in life. You've got your work, you've got your home life, but you still need that outlet. You need that third thing. For us, it's golf, and just like you're saying, Tyler, when you get on the golf course or you get in the simulator and you start swinging the club, everything else is just natural and flows from
Yeah.
there because you're comfortable. You're at a place of peace. We'll say, even though golf isn't always the most peaceful of games to play, but yeah, absolutely. Are you working with anyone as far as like research stuff at this time? Like, have you hooked up with any local colleges or anything to do some research stuff?
Not formally. That's a great idea and a great avenue that will come, definitely.
No,
So
absolutely.
far, the research I'm seeing, there's plenty out there. And really, you don't need to be a psychologist to know that number one, men have conversations side by side. I alluded to that fact, but that's very plainly written in the research. You can look up. Oftentimes, it's referred to as shoulder to shoulder communication instead of face to
Yeah.
face. Kind of
Mhm.
two of you standing or even sitting next to each other, driving in the car. I, gave some examples: fishing, playing pool, whatever. That tends to just be the natural positioning of a male to male conversation. So I just took that little bit of research and a little bit of just, I mean, it's all. I took that principle and just applied it into my therapy sessions. Instead of just coming into the office that I've been working in for multiple years, I just said, you know what? This totally works if we're golfing, right? Golf is so easy
Yeah.
to talk while you're playing. It's a great game to just, you can get focused in on it, but then you're swinging the club for a matter of seconds during a round, and the rest of the
Yeah.
time you're just having a good time with whoever you're
Yeah.
with, right? You're just even
100%.
on your own out in nature, enjoying, the sights and sounds and scenery around you. There's a lot of good that can come from something like that. So the research really is that shoulder to shoulder approach, and then more specifically, even I'll say to therapy. Again, it's very plainly written that research argues the greatest predictor of effective therapy is strictly the relationship between the client and the therapist, and the ability for the client to feel comfortable talking with the therapist. So I kind of put those are kind of the 2 points that I then intersected with Greencrest. saying if
I love it.
therapy is all about being comfortable and talking, and men have conversations side by side, let's put those two together and let's make therapy even better for this population.
Right. I mean, it's common sense.
It
And,
does.
and
Yep.
you say that, but again, you're one of the only people that are doing this. And you could easily see this turn into a guy in a batting cage. Like, hey, let's set up a batting
Absolutely.
cage, or
Yeah.
let's, like you were saying, pool table, or hey, let's go down to the bowling alley and just
Anything,
a
really.
traveling therapist almost. I mean, I could see a therapist doing this almost kind of going to the client and meeting the client at their level
Hmm.
almost. That's huge. So
Unreal. So, Greencrest Club, where are you located? What is the membership fee, if there is a membership fee to join said club? I'm joking about that, of course. I know that the simulator is just an add-on. We understand that. But
Right.
where are you located? And do you only have one location or do you have multiple locations?
So I am in Utah County. I'm in Lehigh. So I'm about 40 minutes south of Salt Lake. I have my personal Greencrest location here in Lehigh. I have a second location in Salt Lake City. That's with a different therapist, Andrew. He's
Mhm.
fantastic. He and I have been working together for just a little while, just recently started the expansion process. But I am in the process of working with a handful of therapists actually across the country right now. Some
Fantastic.
in Texas, New York, Florida, a couple other locations. Because this idea, like you've seen, you came
Mhm.
across it online and it rang true to you. You thought, well, that makes some sense. That's happening with potential clients and with therapists across North America, I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sure your email is full.
yes, I do my best with responding to my comments and my messages and emails. I fall behind sometimes, to be honest. But really, the one restraint currently, and this isn't a restraint, it's just something to kind of work with,
Mhm.
is I'm I'm only here, right? I'm
Correct.
not in
Yeah.
LA, I'm not in Charlotte or wherever people are interested in this. But there are therapists there, and there are
Mhm.
therapists that like golf, and
That's
so
true.
I kind of worked out this agreement that I'm helping other providers, other clinicians open their own Greencrest location in their area to serve their
Oh,
own population, and it's a very mutually beneficial agreement.
of course. Yeah.
They open their doors and have, a handful of clients ready to sign up because they've seen my stuff online, and the therapists get to be in a golf simulator for part of their day instead of sitting in a chair. Really, everybody wins, and the client gets to go to therapy maybe for the first time
Yeah.
because this approach was really the only one that they would ever consider.
That is very
No,
true.
absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
I tell you what, if we had the option, at
Oh, I
least,
would have,
where
yeah, for
we
sure.
were at,
Mhm.
I'd be all over that in a
Absolutely.
heartbeat. I think there were times that my swing coach was I felt I was paying my swing coach to be the therapist more than I was to be a swing coach, if you know what I'm
Yeah,
getting at. So,
definitely.
but yeah,
That poor head of
oh, you
yours.
have no idea. But anyway,
All right. So there are two men. There is Tyler, the therapist, and then we have Tyler, the golfer. How do those two people exist? Like, how did they go their separate branches? And then how did this all come together one day?
Yeah, I will say if we're judging both of those individuals on their skill level, I would say Tyler the therapist is probably at a higher level than Tyler the
We
golfer.
understand that. Yep.
yeah, we're
But
living that
I
life now,
do
actually.
I love golf. I started it up when I was a teenager, maybe 15, 16, just
Mhm.
playing with my dad. And he wasn't very good. So I wasn't very good. Learned everything I knew from him. And then, we've been playing now for a long time together and still do pretty regularly as often as we can. And yeah, just love the game, love the
Yeah,
mental side of it, love like you like you mentioned earlier, the peaceful side of it. It's just
yeah,
it's a fantastic outlet for a lot of reasons. I get there's a lot of things to not like about golf as well.
Absolutely.
To my wife, it takes a lot of time, takes me away from the house.
Hmm.
yeah.
But that's another benefit of the simulator. I can go in there, or a client can come in, and I had a client just the other week. He played 18 holes in a 55-minute session.
Oh,
Yep.
So
good for
it's
him. Yeah,
I mean,
It sounds about
it's
right. Yeah.
much faster. That
yeah,
pace of play is just so quick. You don't
yeah.
have to go chase down your ball and you just set up and hit your shot.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I've just always enjoyed the game of golf. And then really, I just have seen a lot of human suffering, I guess, is a good way to say it. You know,
Mhm.
individuals out there are just having a hard time.
Yeah.
Everybody, really, in different ways and in different times of their lives. Just life is hard, and
Yeah.
it's extremely challenging. And for me as the therapist to kind of come alongside them, I guess, in that way, and to provide some level of support. You know, I'm not waving a magic wand and taking away
Mhm.
all their problems and making them, you know, feel it 11 out of 10 every day. But I'm helping them, you know, just feel that connected to somebody who cares, or helping them learn skills, or just gain knowledge about their mental health, and, you know, the way the mind works and the way relationships could improve, things like that. So really, I've had this idea of therapy in a golf simulator in the back of my mind for a little while. And just last year, 2025, in the fall, September, just decided to try it out. It was really one weekend. What's funny is my wife and I had COVID, and it was
Oof.
2025. I'd never it just came back, I guess. But we had COVID one weekend and we are kind of locked up in the house, not feeling
Mm.
terrible, to be
Yeah.
honest, but not
Yeah.
great. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a website. I'm going to set up the LL. I'm going to set up my business bank account, and I'm going to post on TikTok. And I did all that, you know, within a couple of days. And that first weekend after posting my TikTok, I had over 200,000 people saw
I
it.
love it. I
And
love
I
it.
had just
Wow.
emails flooding in saying, how do I sign up? Where are you? You know, my dad needs this. My husband needs this. My partner, my son, whoever it is.
Mhm.
Just the amount of interest immediately just was through the roof, because I
Wow.
had all sorts of fears and worries about what people would think, or even if this would get out
Yeah.
to in front of people, right? You know,
Yeah.
the biggest worry was I'd make this post and 10 people would see it, and then where do I go from there? But the opposite turned out to be true. People were immediately very supportive. Immediately they got it, which I should have known. It makes sense, you know.
The
But
golf
I
community is a big
Yeah.
community for sure.
It's huge. And quite frankly, I think people are, looking for help more so now than at least any other time that I can think of, at least in my lifetime anyway. And I'm of the
right.
generation that, my parents' generation was one that you just never spoke of it. You just never did anything. You just kind of swept it behind and put on a good front and just keep pushing forward. And of course, being, their, offspring, they sort of kind of still had that mindset, but still young enough that I can still listen to those that are, coming behind me who have had a little bit more, how can I put it? Foresight in terms of being able to talk about mental illness and getting help and
Mhm.
whatnot. So
Mm.
I think as the generations go on, it's going to get easier and easier. But I think Joe and I have spoken about it. I know with Joe being an educator, if they would just when I say they, I guess what I'm talking about is education in general, is if they would spend more time teaching about mental awareness, I guess is a good
Mhm.
way of putting it. That
Mhm.
everybody goes through something, and everybody, not everybody's going to go through. Joe and I may be having depression, but I'm just as an example. We may have a depression, but he's going to react to it differently than I'm going to react to it. His mind is going to tell him certain things about it, and my mind is going to say certain things about it as well. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's help out there, and people are looking to seek help, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's really really fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen an increase, right, of individuals seeking mental health therapy now, right? We've seen the waiting lists are just increasing at this point. So the other side of this, though, is a lot of the people that you're seeing or having come in are these first-time clients that are new to therapy. I guess would be kind of one of my other questions.
It's a mix, to
Okay.
be honest. Yeah, quite often, you know, someone's coming in for the first time saying, "I've never tried
Hmm.
something like therapy, but I know I have some things going on in my life that I could use some help with. So let's hit some balls and let's talk about it." Others, they've tried therapy in the past. Oftentimes they've had good experiences in the past, you know,
Hmm.
and just the way their life went, they stopped and
Mm,
were feeling better for a time, and now they just felt like it would be good to pick therapy back up and felt like, why not do it while I'm playing my round of golf for the week? So it really is a mix. Others tried therapy in the past and didn't have great experiences. That's fairly common, unfortunately, which I understand and I get it. And I'm glad that they're willing to give it another shot with me or one of the Greencrest
mm,
therapists. Because really, we tried to be very understanding. We get it. We get the barriers. We get the discomfort with going to therapy, the awkwardness of signing up for a session and going and meeting this stranger who you're going to talk with about your problems for an hour. It's uncomfortable and it's different and new for a lot of people. So really, I'm just a guy, and I think that alone resonates with people. I try
Yeah.
to just set them at ease, saying, "Look, you do this with your buddies out on a golf course.
Yeah.
Why not come in here for an hour, do the same thing. Just play around in golf. You and I will talk, but I'll just kind of add an extra layer of value with, maybe the questions I'm asking or the way I'm guiding the conversation or the tools I'm giving you. So really I try to put everybody at ease that really this isn't anything too uncomfortable. This really isn't anything there's no judgment here. It's just playing some golf and talking with a guy.
So if any of your patients asked you to watch their backswing and see if they're doing the old chicken wing in the backswing, and if you were able to fix it for them, I'm just curious. I know you're not
Yeah.
a PGA professional, but I just didn't know if
right.
by chance on the side, the side hustle you got going on.
Yeah, it's something to look into. I will say, with the simulator I use is a TrackMan,
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's got,
fantastic.
multiple screens, so you can see all sorts of
Oh
data
yeah.
that
Oh
you
yeah.
can
We're
see
familiar.
Yep.
and overanalyze. But,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, you can easily pick out trends, right? If someone's really coming in to out and they're, it's the ball is going all over the place and really slicing or whatever. We don't really talk much about the golf swing during session, but I could point some stuff out, just like, hey, I noticed this, and maybe this is something I've taken one golf lesson before,
Okay.
so I can draw on my knowledge from that about what
We
that
know a
guy.
couple guys. We'll hook you up.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, if I could get to a point where I can coach other people with that, I mean, talk about a double threat.
Well, here's a. I think you made a good point in there a little while ago too. We're talking. A lot of times people think if you're going in and you're doing therapy, it's something you're doing for the rest of your life, and
Yeah.
that's not necessarily the case.
Mhm.
There are a lot of times you may go and you might just need to sit and talk with someone for a few months or a year and work through something or work through some things. And then you may,
Eh,
take a break for a while until you feel like you need a tune up or a
Yeah.
conversation again. So,
Sometimes it's just good to check in and
mm,
just check in. Sometimes I like to check in with my person and go, "Am I feeling okay?" You just want to make sure I'm doing okay, type of
Yeah.
thing. And that just might be like a once a quarter type of
mhm.
visit or once every 6 months or
Yeah.
whatnot.
And a therapist isn't assigning new
Uh,
medication either. So, people aren't coming to Tyler and, you shouldn't be scared that you're going to come to Tyler and Tyler's going to start assigning you all these pills to take for whatever reason, right? Like, that's not his job. That's not what he's there for. So, that's a totally different concept. I think people get misconstrued a lot of times as well, too. So, gosh, there was something else I was going to ask. I'm totally drawing a blank now.
I don't know.
Total
You
joke.
never
Yeah.
shared your
Take a sip of
question
my
list with
coffee
me.
here.
But anyway, talking to the golfer Tyler now, what are some of your favorite golf courses?
I'm a Utah boy, at least now. So
We're not far
Black
from
Desert,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I like playing that. I've never played it in person, to be
Mhm.
honest. I played some St. George courses, and St. George I mean, that's golf mecca here in Utah.
I was going to
There's
say
some.
I've seen pictures and videos, and it looks absolutely stunning out that
Oh,
way.
yeah. Yeah, it's a different world down there. So we go down there quite often just to hang out, do, little weekend trips as the family, and I get to golf here and there.
Mhm.
Let's see, there's, Sand Hollow is down there, beautiful course. On the simulator, I've enjoyed playing St. Andrews. That's a fun one, and
Mhm.
it's just a classic, you
it's
gotta
on the
do
bucket
that.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the bucket
Yep,
list.
for sure. Would love to get out there one day. Here in Utah, where I am locally, if anyone's local here listening. I play most often at Sleepy Ridge. It's not super well known for anyone outside of Utah, but it's a beautiful course. It's out by a lake. You see anywhere you go in Utah County, you've got the beautiful mountains behind you.
Yeah.
Still some incredible views, some great sunsets from Dolphin over there. And then Pebble Beach, of course, is another fun one to play on the simulator. I can't say I do very well there, but it's
Now, out of curiosity, on the simulator, are you doing the auto putt, or are you making people putt out of curiosity?
that's a great question. We do the auto putt.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and most.
It's best to not add any extra stress to the
Yeah.
patient during the session.
Exactly. Yeah. I've
having a
heard
hit
that
driver in front of you is enough.
That is that can be stressful. Yes, absolutely.
I've
Do
heard
you
that
give-
putting on a simulator makes you a worse putter. So we
It
just
does,
aren't
100%.
doing
No,
that.
it really does. Do you give or have you done yet a group session in the simulator?
I have not. No, not professionally. I mean, I've taken a group of buddies there and played, but
Sure.
not
Right.
not with a group of clients. But I think there's definitely some value there, and that's something to look into.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, so out here where we're at, there's this really cool place we've been going to that has, it's just a simulator bar that is
Cool.
down here in La Quinta. La Quinta?
Yeah, it's in La Quinta. It's
Yeah.
and we'll go
Yeah,
ahead and
it's
we'll
called the
mention
golf-
it.
it's called the
the
golf
golf bar. It's in La Quinta.
It's in La Quinta. They've got like 8 simulator bays, right? And I'm just thinking off the top of my head how cool it would be to just kind of rent that out for a day and do just a group session on something if there was, or something like that would be kind of crazy. I mean, just what you've built and what you have going on can be expanded on and just turned almost really into whatever.
'Cause even if it's not exclusively therapy, just the idea of getting together with a group and that community, just connection with
Yeah. Like-minded people. Yeah,
that's just as valuable as therapy in a lot of ways.
absolutely. No, I love that. That's great.
That was my wife just
Yeah.
calling to check up on us, make sure that we're still alive.
How you doing? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing well. You doing okay?
I'm doing all right. Yeah.
Okay,
We're
perfect.
doing
Oh,
good.
that's
His
what I
dog
told her.
isn't doing well. His dog's not doing well.
My dog
Yeah.
has
Pupper.
separation anxiety, and as soon as I walked out of the house, it was on like Donkey Kong. And my wife will be leaving Panama in the next week to join us here in the desert.
Oh, great.
And Dusty, our dog, will be not liking the next 30 days without his mom and dad. So it is what it is. So, of course, that gives us as dog parents stress as well. So it's never ending stress. It's just a snowball of it.
Lowest round of golf, rapid fire. Here we go. Lowest round of golf.
I have broken 90.
Okay, that's great.
That's
Hey,
actually really
I love
good.
that. You're in our wheelhouse. You're our
Yep.
people.
You're
Yep.
you're going to be riding in the golf cart with us.
Okay, good. Yeah. 89, I think. Yeah, has been.
I love it.
That's great.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's that meme going around on social media now, where they ask people, what's decent at golf?
Yeah.
And that is such a great question because no matter who you ask, you're going to get a different answer.
The answer is going to be different depending upon who it is. I mean, if it's
Mhm.
someone who's just starting out, that could be, oh God, a decent round of golf is just let me finish with, without losing an entire sleeve of golf balls
Yeah.
to, I mean, literally to us going, I mean, even now going at it's like 112 degrees and we're going, please let us finish without dying. That's really where we're at right now. So that's a good round of golf if we can finish right now.
It was 111 the other day with 20-mile-an-hour winds.
It was bad.
The ball was moving in the air. We did not have a good time.
Oh, it
It's
was
like
not fun.
like an air fryer.
It was.
It was bad. It was bad. It was
Convection
not
oven.
cool air by any means.
Man,
Longest drive. Do you know? How far have you hit it?
I remember this one. Where was that? It was up in Park City,
Okay.
Soldier Hollow. I hit it 293.
Ooh.
It's a poke.
It was, yeah. And it
Wow.
was slightly downhill, but it wasn't crazy. It was just a good day. It was
Now, the
one
next
good-
time you tell the story, make sure you say it's slightly uphill, and
Yes.
nobody will ever know the difference.
Did you make
Yeah.
the par?
I don't remember. I was just so
He
excited
didn't
about
make
the
the par.
prize.
He didn't make the par. He
It
flubbed the
doesn't
next
matter.
shot like
Yeah.
all of us
Now,
Yeah. it
after the
probably-
great drive.
yeah, we would have topped the second shot, knowing us.
Yeah. Yeah, the next shot's gone 2 yards.
Oh, what else?
Gosh,
Rapid fire golf questions.
rapid fire golf questions. Do you prefer to ride or walk?
Ooh.
I like to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very rarely do I walk, to be honest. Even just a handful of times have I done that.
That makes sense. I mean, you got a busy schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
with what you're doing and then the kids and everything and the wifey, it's all, yeah,
Yep.
totally get
Yeah.
it.
And the older you get, the more you want to ride instead of walk.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
what I found out
Yeah.
anyway. At
And when
least.
you have, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Longest drive, trying to think.
Your favorite foursome, if you could get a foursome together, who would it be?
Wow. I mean, are we talking celebrity?
Anyone you
This is
want.
anyone
3
you
other
want. 3
people,
other people that you're going to
past,
play golf
present,
with.
who
Doesn't
you want to
matter.
play.
Okay. I'd bring my dad. I think that would
Perfect.
be a
Yep.
gift. He's coming along. Being from Utah, maybe you know where this is going. I'd bring Big Tony Finau. He would come along
Love it.
with me.
Mm-hmm.
He's
What a
just a
story.
fantastic guy, just as good as they get. Let me see. Sticking with the Utah theme,
Mm-hmm.
golf influencer Melosi Tagisala. He's from St. George,
Okay.
big
Ah,
golfer, big Tongan guy, and I think he's like, I'm 6'4", pretty tall guy, pretty thin, and he's I think 5'4", maybe, but Tongan, and he's just huge. I think it would be fun for
God.
me and him to connect and play around the golf together. He's good.
That's
He
sick.
hits it really hard, really straight. So that's kind of a random group, but I think that's where my mind went. So that's a fun question.
That's the thing
That's
about
perfect
it.
though,
Yeah.
right? Like that's that's what we love. So we've seen, as we've been doing this podcast over the last couple months or so, like I think we've really saw this evolving from us planning this trip and talking about mental health to, I think it's really going to be us focusing on the mental health side and the golf side of things, but really just trying to hear about stories and golf stories, and that foursome right there I mean, that's just exactly what we're talking about, right? Being able to go out and golf with your dad and spend that time and share that time. And then to be able to have those other two guys that are just, like you said, phenomenal golfers and just know the game and would probably just be amazing to spend time around. Like that's exactly it.
Everybody has a story to tell, and you're with a group of people for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you're all telling your best stories, and sometimes your worst stories, and sometimes your funniest stories, and sometimes the saddest stories, but you're sharing a story with someone. And that's what we like. I mean, we were our very first round in the desert here, we there was a single that caught up to us.
Yeah.
And we told him, hey, you got a couple of choices. You can either be stuck behind us, you can play through us, or if you like, you can play with us. So
Yeah.
he chose the third one, played with us, and Chris
that's
was
great.
We had a great time.
Chris was a great guy. We learned so much about the local area,
Yeah.
and some of the local spots to go to,
And lore.
and local lore here in the desert as well. And
Yeah, that's
everybody's
cool.
got a story, and
Yeah.
that's what we like about this game as well. Not, it's not just about getting rid of the mental, anguish. It's sometimes just going out and meeting other people.
And your story's fantastic. And obviously that's why we wanted to have you on, because obviously what you're doing is incredible. And hearing that you are expanding and that people have reached out to do that is fantastic. And I hope that continues and gets larger, because one, we need therapists,
Yeah.
right? And you know that we need more therapists out there. And two, we need access for people. And I think this is a great way to get some people some access that might not normally think about going and having therapy and doing that. So it's incredible what you're doing. So
Yeah, you ought to be commended for what you're doing. I as any therapist that I've ever had, it's like I know how I feel after I'm done. It's kind of like I'm dumping all of my junk in their lap. And it's like it takes a special individual to do that. So I commend you for getting into that field to help individuals like Joe and I that really truly need help from time to time.
Yeah, thank you.
But hey, before we leave, why don't you let everybody know how they can get in touch with you? I know that we're going to put all of your contact details at the bottom of this video
I'm gonna have
and
it
all
on the
that
episode,
stuff.
absolutely.
So, but in the meantime, if you'd like to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, if they'd like, we'll be more than happy to let you do that.
Great. Yeah, thank you. So let's start with TikTok. That's Greencrest Club. Instagram is Greencrest_club. Website, greencrestclub.com. And you can email me directly, tyler@greencrestclub.com will go straight to me. Like I said, I do my best to get back to everybody. Right now, I'm at a pretty good spot. I don't know when this will be released. Probably by then I won't be. I try to stay up on my messages and my emails. I will get back to you at some point. But yeah, I love the comments. I love hearing from people, even if they can't become a client. Just to see the support this idea is getting from people.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I wish my brother would have had this when he was alive. I think this really could have made a difference in his life." That does something to me. That's really kind that that individual would take those few seconds to write up that message to me. So I try to do my best to honor that and get back and share my thanks. But anyway, to both of you, thank you. This has been a great conversation. I love the questions. I love the
Sure.
discussion. Thank you so much for the support and getting the word out about this.
No,
Oh,
absolutely.
no worries at
And
all.
we've got one. I'm going to leave you with one more. We usually end with send it or lay up or our fairway thought. So I'm going to ask you to come up with on the spot here if you have any fairway thoughts. So the idea behind this is a question that you can ask on the first tee that kind of leads some thought and discussion throughout the round all the way to 18. Could be golf related, could be anything.
I like it. I'll just tell you where my mind's going here. If the first
Okay.
one came to mind, if someone is in a relationship or married, I would love to just talk about how they met and what first attracted them to their partner.
Oh,
There's actually,
That's actually a really
that's
good
a
one.
really good one.
I think that actually there's some science behind this, this question of having a discussion about this really brings up a lot of fond memories, a lot of good feelings. There's some improvement that happens in the relationship just by kind of going back and thinking about that time. So that was just the first one that came to mind. So how do you like that?
I love that.
I loved it. It was fantastic. I of all the questions
That's
that
great.
we have either asked or have been asked of us,
Yeah.
nobody has ever
And
asked
that's it.
about a
And
spouse.
I could see that being a great question, even with a random foursome,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So just
Yeah.
a random group, just to get to know some information about them and how much, like you said, how much that would tell you. And then if you're with a group of familiar people after that, I could see that branching out into, well, how'd you meet this guy? What's your
Yeah.
relationship with this guy? If, it's an
Mhm.
unfamiliar group. So I absolutely love, that's a great one. We're using that one. We're stealing it. That's a good
Absolutely.
fairway thought.
Yeah. It's free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Warnes.
I'm Mr. Wilson, and
Tyler with us today.
Tyler's with us today. And Tyler, as we leave everyone, we always try to give a little bit of advice, and our bit of advice that we leave everyone is to have a better round of golf. Just keep it in the short grass.
Very good. I
Tyler,
like
hey,
it.
it was a pleasure having you here. It was good seeing you.
We will be checking in.
And we will be checking in with you from time to time. It's more for our mental health than it is for anything else.
Sure.
So, but no, we appreciate you having you on, and God, we love what you're doing, and we wish you the best moving forward. So, with
Thank you.
that, hey Tyler, it was good seeing you, and Joe,
Yeah.
good being here. We got a lot of golf yet to play, my friend.
We're gonna have more stuff posted. It's crazy.
It's
We're getting
it's
there.
nuts. Anyway, hey everyone watching and listening, we greatly appreciate it. If you've been around with us this long, hey, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't take anything to do that. Leave us a comment. We'll be more than happy to talk to you. And other than that, hey, share us and
Enjoy.
enjoy. Hey, we got some more golf to play, and with that, keep it in the short grass, everyone.